G'day, Aaron here, Rustic Traders, Brisbane, Australia, on a balmy 37-degree spring day in Brisbane. So hot. Anyway, here to show off another recent bike score. Another Queensland or Brisbane brand of bike. And interestingly enough, this was another one that was found on the curbside. So roadside collection, hard rubbish collection, curbside, whatever you want to call it, this was tossed out. And I actually got it off the same guy that had found previously that Rocket Cycles bike in one of my previous videos. So what we have here, the brand is called Local. Now I'm sure I've done a video on a Local before, and you can imagine if you go onto Google and try and search Local for bicycles, what do you get? It just wants to show you that, oh, this is your closest bike shop. You know, these are the bike shops in your area. So really, Google searching is very, very hard to do. But I do know a little bit about this brand. So early on, I think like late 1920s, started by a guy called Robert Todd. And this was in South Brisbane, the suburb called South Brisbane in Brisbane. I've got some of his earlier bikes. His head badge had his name on it, Bob Todd. And even I think we mentioned his name when talking to Brett Richardson, because Brett Richardson knew him back in the day as well. So early on, Local, like a lot of the bike shops, made all their own bicycles. You know, 1920s, 30s, 40s, probably even into the 50s, and maybe 60s. This bike here, I would think would be sort of 1960s into the 70s era. So it's a later one where it still has, it doesn't feel like a sticker. The later ones have a sticker. It still feels more like a transfer, but or maybe a very early sticker set on there. So I'm pretty sure by the time this bike was made, late 60s into the 70s, the Local brand was another one of the brands that had been soaked up by the Guthrie group. They bought up a lot of the, as the bike shops went out, they end up owning Ashby, Swift, Sprite, Local, quite a few brands. I've mentioned them before. They all they bought up these brands. Maybe even Olympic was another one. They bought up these brands, and then after a period of time, they were still putting out bikes with that brand on it, but they were all kind of made in one spot and you know, distributed through the shops for different brands. We've got a serial number here, so I'm pretty sure this was a Melvin Star made frame. A lot of the bike shops later on were just buying the blanks off Melvin Star. They were the largest manufacturer in Australia. So even later on, Tom Wallace, a whole heap of his branded bikes in the shop were just Melvin Star made bicycles. You could buy them as a blank with not painted at all, or you could buy them painted and put your own decals on there, or I believe you could even get them to put the decals on there. Even I worked in a bike shop in the late 90s and early 2000s, and even then we bought cheap ladies' bikes and put like a shop sticker on it. So we were still kind of doing that thing even in the late 90s, early 2000s. So this is a junior bike, you know, or a very small woman. You got 24-inch wheels. Now, interestingly enough, the old valves, which you don't really see anymore, we just pumped the tires up on these things. Now, those are old. Yeah, in the 1980s, they kind of phased those out. So the tubes and the tires just pumped up on this thing. So we're gonna take it for a ride. There's nothing extremely great about this bike. It's just a standard roadster or utility bike. But I just thought I'd show it off because I love the Queensland brand stuff. And I mean, again, here's another one saved that if I didn't buy it off this guy, his next stop was the scrap metal yard, and this would have just been sold at 12 cents a kilo as a little bit of rubbish scrap. So I paid him a decent price for it. He was super happy, which makes him keep bringing bikes to me. So great little score, definitely a keeper, and I'll take it for a bit of a ride, see if it'll hold my weight. The chain's a bit creaky, of course, but hey, it still works. Probably hasn't been ridden for 40 years or something, and pump up the tyres and ready to hit the trail. I love that it's still got its original paint, you know, your original hand-painted pinstriping. Always nice to see. A bit more rust on the top tube, which I just talked about it before. You know, if you're leaving it under the house or in the shed or in the garage, the top bar always seems to get the most rust on it. There's small pedals on it. They're almost like a little kid-size pedal. Anyway, cool bike. I'll do more videos. Stay tuned, subscribe, all that type of stuff.